What up? It's your boy Nick Incredible Man, and yes, I am back at it again. And this is New Amsterdam, Season 4, Episode 9, Review in a Strange Land. And to be honest, I'm starting to think New Amsterdam is doing this to actively piss me off. Let's talk about it, man.
Yo, fight until you make it, yo, don't think it, no, just take it. Don't wait for someone to break it, take control, then don't just take it. Hey, you can make it happen, you just gotta take some action. Take the ship and be the captain.
This episode started out like in that, like, it kind of just jumped straight into it, like kind of reeling after episode 8, where we see the after effects of losing all of these people, especially like Gladys and Casey. They were very important roles and jobs that they had, and you could feel the after effects of losing them, along with Dr. Cow and everything. You could feel it, and you see people talking about it, putting in their resume at other hospitals, because basically New Amsterdam is a sinking ship at this point, so everybody's trying to jump off. But that aspect, and then jumping straight into like the whole overall case of this episode with the church and the whole fire victims and everything, I felt it in my heart, man. Like, so throughout this entire episode, I felt so heartbroken and sorry for these people, man. I know ICE has a job to do. I mean, I know they have a job to do. That's fine. I know it. I mean, you see that the place that they were worshiping at and the place that they were living and everything had just caught fire, and a lot of them are super injured, but ICE just doesn't seem to care. And I know that, you have the people that, well, we can't save everybody. You can't save everybody. I know this. This is a given fact. But we can be human. You know what I'm saying? We can be good people. It's not hard to be good. I don't know, man. That's the way it just made me feel, man. And I feel like it's not that hard to be good. Even if, we can't just keep them in the country, because they came here illegally. And sure, that's a devastating thing. And I feel that. And I know ICE has a job to do. But everybody that comes here to America, everybody can't get it the legal means, or if they do, it takes years, and they could be in so much trouble and turmoil, or perish or die before they actually get a chance to actually make it. So some take the less unethical routes and come illegally. And I know ICE has a job to do, but these people are just in a devastating situation. Can you give them a reprieve, at least for a little while? I mean, you see what they're going through. And that's what the premise of this episode was trying to save these people medically and, I guess you could say maybe economically, if you will. I mean, maybe, I don't know, because, ICE was trying to, detain them. And we've seen pictures of detention centers, man, and it's just not a pretty sight. And we know once they go there, these people weren't going to be treated right, and they weren't going to be taken care of medically. And a lot of these people had serious problems and issues. I don't want to say the wrong phrase, but the transgender dude, his case was in particular was just so devastating, man. He was attacked in Nigeria for wanting to change his body, I'm assuming. And because how Nigerian treats women anyways, like there's a bunch of stuff going on with this entire episode, to be fair. But getting becoming transgender, and then getting caught up in the fire, and then getting treatment at the hospital, they were feeling some type of way, and I apologize, I don't know the right term or phrase, was feeling some type of way, and it was hard, man. It was hard to watch. I felt for him. I really did, man. It felt devastating to see him in that predicament. And he was so engulfed in everything. And he was just terrified, even though he was in a safe space. And he didn't even want to have the mammogram. And it had got to the point to where now the cancer spread so far, but it's treatable. It's treatable, but it had spread so far. Like, this whole episode, it just had my polar heart breaking, man. I felt so bad for these people, and I wanted to help in any possible way I can. I know this is all fiction in this episode, but I mean, like, these are real problems and real circumstances taking place in the real world, and I gotta give New Amsterdam credit for that, for showcasing and highlighting something like this in that entire situation. Max even tried to do the whole out of the box thing yet again, with turning the lunchroom or the cafeteria into New Amsterdam, the sanctuary. And I really enjoyed that. Then we have the siblings and the brothers starting the fire, you know, because of the fear from ice. Like, it's just a lot of heartbreaking stuff, man. The sister that, you know, can see and conversate with God, but at the same time it's basically her having seizures. And I'm not knocking that, because, you know, I mean, I'm a spiritual person myself and I have faith, and I'm not saying that she can't, because we see in this episode it's very evident that, you know, she basically kind of connected to her brother a little bit and might have been the one that actually helped him. But we see that it's also causing her to have seizures, and she doesn't want to give that up if she can continue to help people, but in the long run it would mess her up. So after her whole conversation with Iggy, we see that, you know, that she's going to take the medicine. At the end of the episode, we see her and her brother both, you know, recovering. So that was a nice aspect as well. But it just was a heartbreaking episode, man. I mean, we got a happy ending because, you know, Max was kind of like the little scapegoat, and they're like, oh, look this way. And in actuality, they're leaving and going this way. But, you know, throughout the entire episode, my poor little heart was breaking, man. But all of that was great. I loved it. I enjoyed it. That was fun. That was good. Now let's sit all of that over here while we deal with some other stuff that's not involved in the case that's dealing with this episode. So the stuff that's actually going to be long running throughout this season. We see that Karen finally starts to realize and regret her decision of bringing on Veronica. You know, her and Max are team. They're head to head, and we see Karen trying to get the vote to get rid of Veronica, but I knew from the jump that wasn't going to work. I knew it. I didn't expect that old dude and everybody else was going to betray Karen, but I knew the vote wasn't going to work. I figured maybe she would have came with another proposal or something, or somehow she would have got the board to see her side of it or something, but she already had them in her pocket from the jump. And Karen's and Max's plan was just dead on arrival, man. It didn't go nowhere. And now Karen is out of the chairman of the board position. So she's not even in charge anymore. I don't think they actually kicked her off the board. I think they just took the leadership position from Karen. So she's not in charge anymore. And oh boy, that's gonna be some hell, man. Because Veronica seemed one of those people that she's very vengeful, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Like, she already organized all this stuff behind the scenes anyway, and gave this one dude the power to have Karen's position. Like, there's so much going on behind the scenes. I'm assuming that Veronica was working on this for a minute. This couldn't have been something that she just automatically thought of right then in that moment. This is something that she's been working at for a minute. But we also see that the residents had to step up a little bit more this episode. And we get to see that Layla kind of transferred to general surgery. And Reynolds told her that she might actually have a career in general surgery. So it would be nice to see Layla in general surgery. But we got to acknowledge the fact that she now knows that there was only supposed to be 4 residents. And it ended up with 5. So she knows that Bloom paid it off, because Reynolds mentioned the fact that, you know, well, it's weird, but it's been a long time since we had 5 residents. You know, normally we have 4, but the last time we had 5 was when the other doctor of cardiology, you know, his parents had to buy and donate a whole wing to the hospital. So how did we get 5 residents? You know, he kind of just let it float out there in the ether, and Layla picked it up, realizing that Bloom had to donate money to get her that 5th residency spot. Little does she know that Bloom had to pay and make a donation for her to be that 5th resident. Although now that came out, Layla knows, and Bloom is being extorted by Veronica. Like, there's a whole bunch of foolery going on with that. But now that it's out there, I wonder how Layla's going to react towards Bloom now that she knows. And like I said, man, overall, this episode was a heartbreaking, but then we got that real gut punch at the end of the episode. And I'm telling you, man, New Amsterdam is starting to piss me off so bad, man. So bad. I know a hospital runs on money, and I know it has to do all this other stuff, but I hate Veronica, man. This is your boy, Nick Incredible. Don't forget to smash that like button so you can't smash it anymore, man. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them. And subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. Peace out.
I cannot complain, because today, I'm doing my thing.